ba-dum bum bum. Ba-da-da-da-da. Hey, ba-dum bum bum. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to Wrestle AM. I am the huge one.
That's right, Coco. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, Sexy Man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. Boom, boom, here, shaking the room. Live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there way across the pond in Tokyo, Japan. The huge one, Dave Coco. What's up, brother?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I haven't slept at all because I went to go see Star Wars and I did not plan my trip back correctly, and I spent all night fucking hanging out in Tokyo. So
Oh,
yeah, mistakes were made.
so
Um,
you walk back home.
no, I didn't walk back home. I just we sat at a restaurant, played darts, just chilled out until the morning. So usual. Golden Star's already in a chat live. For those that don't know, we archive this on YouTube, Coco Sports, but we go live on the Twitch machine. And this is an all elite show because outside of New Japan, all elite is probably the only thing I've been watching consistently. So, um, we'll talk the good, the bad, the ugly, but Booms, Ninja taught us one thing during Christmas, and that's what it's about. What did Ninja teach us? Ninja taught us we have to be more positive. So let's go the overall good, the overall bad, ugly, and then you can hit up the tag, the whatever else you want to hit up. But I want to hear, what do you think the good is of this year review?
Well, for AEW, and let's take a step back here. This is the first time it really got off the ground. There was like an announcement. If it was formally, all the rumors popping up about a wrestling promotion came to fruition in Las Vegas in February. They did Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fallen. They did AEW did a lot of shows, but they eventually got on air on TNT. First time a professional wrestling show had been on TNT in over 20 years, or actually almost 20 years, excuse me, I stand corrected. Uh, and they've done about 12 shows thus far. And so far, they've been fairly decent. They've actually exceeded TNT's expectations. And overall, I mean, it's been a pretty good year for All Elite Wrestling. But as far as the good, bad, and the ugly here, things that I like about All Elite Wrestling. One, I like their roster. I do think they have a uh, very stacked roster of various talents, various body sizes, different types of personality. So I think that meshes well. I do like the action. The show starts, boom, there's already some guys in the ring. We're going to start a match or about to start a match. We're building up to something, so we don't have to wait for long, and it's just a decent flow. I like that the elite, the stars, are putting over talent. Um, One of the problems you tend to worry about, or you've had, at least historically speaking, is when somebody runs like a promotion, the booker promoter, they usually put themselves on the top. It happened with Jerry Lawler in Memphis. It happened with the Von Erichs in Texas. It happened with Vern Gagne in the AWA. Even to some extent, it's happened with Vince McMahon in World Wrestling Entertainment. But in this one, yeah, the elite are they're up there, but they're putting over people. I mean, they've put over Private Party, they've put over Pac, they've gotten over Orange Cassidy, they've gotten over Darby Allin, they've gotten over. They're working on getting over the Dark Order. So they're working on building up these other talents, because right now the elite still, and this is maybe it's kind of like you could go either way on this one, but it's been a point of criticism where the elite, I think they're still cool enough to where they can eat a loss every now and then and still be cool. But and on the other hand, but if they don't lose, if they're constantly booking themselves to be the champions or to be on top, then well, you don't really have anything to work with. I mean, it's not a big deal if you beat the team that doesn't win matches. I do like the ranking system, putting over emphasis on wins and losses. I like being the elite. I like the fact that they haven't done any fuck finishes thus far. I do like fact that they put an emphasis on tag team wrestling, because usually, in other promotions, particularly like New Japan, WWE, that usually the tag division is kind of an afterthought. Here it's first and foremost. I think it's one of the stronger divisions they have. I like that they're sticking with stipulations, namely like Cody Rhodes. If you lost, you would never challenge for the championship. I like that they're sticking with that thus far. They're working at establishing the titles. They put it on Chris Jericho. They put it on SCU. They put the women's championship on Riho. I like the fact that they've spread out their pay-per-views. Instead of doing one every month or one every other month, they're doing it essentially right now. They're doing it quarterly, which is really good, because if you're going to ask somebody to spend anywhere from $50 to $60 for a pay-per-view, you can't do it every month, and plus it has to mean something. So that's really the good of what I like about AEW.
We'll stick with the good. Golden Star in the chat mentioned Jeff Jarrett in early TNA. Just to put yourself, the put yourself over thing. I've ran wrestling promotions, so I know what it's like. A lot of people do that. There's a part of it that's ego, but there's also a part of it that your business is on your line and you can trust yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's your living. I mean, that's how you put food on the table. That's how you pay your light bill. And, you want the champion to show up. You want the champion to, put in a good performance. And, you're going to do it because, hell, it's your promotion, your baby. So, yeah, it makes sense that, the promoter would do that. So, I completely understand why, but and if you don't trust people, why the hell are you working with them?
Because you have to make money. But the thing is, with that is, the champion is the hardest working guy. Well, if you're running a promotion, you feel that way. I'm okay with wrestlers being the champion of their own feds, just because I understand, how it works. I'm not okay with non-wrestlers doing it. It's stupid. You know what I mean? I think the best thing about AEW is it gives us hope. AEW is what we've been dreaming about. A small fucking company that makes it fucking big. A rich guy fucking backs it, and you know what I mean. It's like everything we wish TNA would be, and now it's there. So I do think when it comes to AEW, the big thing is hope, because me and Boom Boom, we've been wrestling fans our whole life. You know what I mean? We just been wrestling fans our whole life, and the John Cena era almost broke me. I stepped away from life and entertainment and everything after the divorce, and I just couldn't get back into WWE. I'm going to watch this year's WrestleMania, and that's it. I'm out. I've always been an alternative guy, but it just gives us another option, and it's there. Bear Friend said this the other day. They're like, oh, they're really trying for an American company. I think it's fun, and even when they are fucking not hitting home runs, they're trying. You know what I mean? You can't watch that polished WWE product and say they're trying. They are not. You know what I mean? They're not. They are completely fucking average. There is no effort whatsoever, So to me, it's fun. I do like the records. I do like the rankings. I do like that there's some other options out there. And, it's nice because, here's the thing. It's nice to be like, oh, man, it's nice to have multiple options, because, WWE fanboys can be a bit much, and I think I'll make a video on them in the future. But to stick on topic, it's nice to be like, wow, I'm really fed up with this. Let's go somewhere else. And for the longest time, we didn't have that. Like WWE, WCW, ECW, NWA, we could bounce back and forth. We're like, man, I've had enough with this. I'm going to go back, But for a long time, it felt, and it basically was, you watch WWE, it fucking sucks, fuck you, deal with it, Now, AEW might not be perfect, but at least there's another option. You know what I mean? And now there's so many options. You can find something. Yeah. And not only that, but with AEW, NWA, MLW, New Japan, especially with the English commentary, I don't want to be negative, but I understand being angry at WWE. I understand if you're angry at the other stuff and you love WWE. I understand those two stances. I can't see with all these options you saying, well, everything still sucks. Like, to me, it's like, I understood when John Cena, Randy Orton, and Batista were on top. That was a legit fucking complaint because you didn't have many options.
Mm-hmm.
If you, at this moment, don't find a product you like, you might just not like pro wrestling. Because if you like the old school stuff, there's NWA. If you like the indie style stuff, there's, MLW. MLW feels like, a fun indie, You got Ring of Honor, who's going through hard times. You got TNA, who's, rebranding themselves. You have AEW, you have WWE, you have New Japan. If you think everything sucks, and, Golden Star in the chat saying Jim Cornette probably thinks everything sucks, it might be like, because there comes a time where you're critiquing. You don't want to, like, especially when you're giving your opinion. This is my thoughts. I don't think you should suck anyone off because then you serve no purpose. But I also don't think you should hate everything. And my attitude is if you hate everything right now, it might not be for you and it's time to walk away. Like with WWE, I actually started hating everything. And after John Cena stepped down, it was still horrible. I was like, I'm out. I'm going to watch the Tampa WrestleMania and I'm out. But I don't know. Sometimes it's okay to walk away, but I think you should fucking, I don't know. I wish more people would call it right down the middle, Bill Alfonso style, but I think it's hard. We got a long comment from Golden Star, and then we'll talk about the negatives and the ugly. And then whatever you want to bring up, Booms, if you got any questions. All right, Golden Star is a long one. I agree to an extent with that Dave says about Omega. Okay, we'll talk about Kenny Omega. I'm going to bring that up. So, yeah. I
can bring that up as a bad, is Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Now, while I do think it's a positive, and I know you're going to think I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not. While it's, it's a good thing to put over other talent, get them established, give them the rub, and, make them look like $1 million. So, when they win, it's a big deal. You get these guys over. So that way, when you come back and beat them or somebody else beats them, whoa, it's a big deal. But also on the other hand, you got to have Omega and the Bucks show what they got to do because right now, I'm high on Kenny Omega. I love Kenny Omega. He's probably my favorite professional wrestler in the world right now. But on the other hand, not everybody has been following Kenny Omega since, from his New Japan days. When I saw Kenny Omega in New Japan, I was like, oh, okay, this guy's pretty good. And then, he eventually just blew my fucking mind, especially that series with Okada. Just sealed the deal for me. I was like, boom, this guy's like the best right now. But now when he's coming to AEW, you don't see any of that. Now, if you followed him, you know that he's a good wrestler. But as Dave Koco actually pointed out, but if you've never seen him, you may not have seen him, but you've heard his hype. So you want to tune into AEW to see what the hype is all about. And then you see what he's doing there. You're just like, really? Is that it? Is this what everybody's all so, fucking high on? I don't get it. And I think it's a negative. I think even the Young Bucks to an extent are falling into that a little bit. You need to show me, bring, the saying goes, brought with the one who dance with the one who brought you. Got it. I just fucked that up like 20 fucking different ways. Dance with the one who brought you, and that's why I want, Omega, Bucks, everybody with the Elite, show us what you got. I mean, you can still, put other people over, but you got to show me what you got. You got to show everybody, because not everybody, there's people who are seeing you for the first time. You need to show them what you're all about. You don't have to give away everything, but give us a lot of good glimpses into who and what you really are.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go over it. This week's episode was the first one where, they're making a lot of mistakes.
Yes, they were.
And
now,
they made a lot of mistakes.
It's not the worst show. I will say that. It's not the worst show I've ever seen.
No, but I think it was I think it's the show where you walk away for the first time ever, and it's a young history. I think it's the first time you walk away with the Elite or All Elite Wrestling or whatever, the history of the company, that you walk away going, they're fucking up. There was always, they shouldn't have signed JR. But, nah. Because here's the thing. There's a lot of mistakes. One, and Sammy Sinister and me argue about this on Twitter, and I think about doing a separate video, but we'll do it. Kenny Omega is by far the worst booked wrestler of 2019. by far. He was a free agent. WWE fans knew about him. Everyone knew about him. And then you signed the biggest free agent of all time. JR's line that will haunt it, like, just fucking rings bells of he left his heart in Japan. WWE fans, they love the warmth of Vince McMahon's hug. And if they have any excuse to come running back, they will. They're like, oh my God, the lighting sucks. Oh, the graphics suck. Oh, So, but Kenny Omega is one of the few people that had a lot of hype going behind him. You could say CM Punk, you could say AJ Styles. Omega had that hype and more. WWE fans are like, oh, Kenny Omega is going to come into Royal Rumble. That's when WWE fans have heard of you, when they keep talking about you're going to show up in the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And they came to check him out, and they're telling a story that they're going to build him up. It was the biggest fucking mistake. I don't think the Young Bucks made that big of a mistake. This week, too much. It's just like, come on. But I think Cody's been booked perfectly. I think fucking the Young Bucks, minus this week, have been booked pretty well. They're not winning. Omega's the worst booked fucking wrestler in 2019. Easily. Because people came over and they're like, oh, he fucking sucked. And they all ran back to Vince McMahon's warm balls. That's it. And the thing is, you can be like, well, he's going to make a comeback. It's over. That window of getting those fans, the fans that could put you over the edge to beat NXT, the fans that can bring you to the next level, the fans that gave your fucking product a shot. Everyone remembers the XFL and the ratings in a week. People will give something new a shot.
Yeah.
You lost all those fans, and they're not coming back.
It's evidenced by the ratings. Now, I'm not going to sit here and play the ratings game. Well, this, that, and the other. But just here's the stone cold facts. October 2nd, first ever AEW Dynamite, they pulled 1.4 million. The most recent episode they pulled this past Wednesday on December 18th, 683,000. They have dropped about 50% of their viewers. Now, does that mean they're in trouble? Does that mean they're going out of business? Does that mean TNT's going to pull the plug? No. TNT set a goal. They wanted 500,000 viewers, and they've more than accomplished that. I do think Chris Jericho was right saying the honeymoon period's over. They need to get their shit together now.
It's god-awful.
Yeah, this week was not a good week. It wasn't their worst week. Now, their worst week was the one before Thanksgiving, where they popped the lowest viewership ever. It was 663,000.
Yeah, well, the thing is about the ratings, and we're just going to put a little asterisk here, and we're not making excuses. There was, the thing is, we're not making excuses because NXT has the same hill battle. You know what I mean? But they were going against a very big thing going on in a news cycle. And Thanksgiving was coming up, but NXT did beat them. NXT had the same challenges of what was on television as they did, and they beat them. On top of that is you don't want to be TNA 2. You don't want to be TNA 2 where right now Moxley and Jericho are on top. If you're a WWE fanboy, why would you bother watching AEW? Why? Why would you bother watching them? Omega should be undefeated. He should have never lost. If wins and losses matter, he should have been undefeated. This AEW this week reminds me of Spider-Man 3. For those that don't remember, Tobey Maguire used to be Spider-Man. And Spider-Man 1 and 2 were amazing. Spider-Man 3, or, you could say Star Wars the prequel. If you watch history, right, we went into the Star Wars prequels and into Spider-Man 3 expecting the most amazing thing ever. And it took us a little bit to realize we watched a bad Spider-Man movie. We watched a bad Star Wars. Nowadays, everyone complains about Star Wars. You know what I mean? But back first prequel, Booms can tell you, he's older. The first prequel we thought was amazing. It didn't hit us that it was a bad movie until maybe a day later out in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Like, because we were so hyped up. I think this is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 of AEW. This is the first one, like, I walked away going, and it didn't hit me right away. I was like, AEW, not a bad episode. But then I thought about it, and I was like, holy shit, that's the Spider-Man 3 episode. That is the Spider-Man 3 episode. And what I mean by the Spider-Man 3 episode is, when you watch this week's AEW, you went, that's not a bad show. And then you thought about it. And you thought about it. And they're just making big mistake after big mistake. And I hope they can bounce back. I really hope they can bounce back.
Yeah, okay. Well, this actually brings up something here. They're gonna be on hiatus for a while.
I
This
think that's a
upcoming
big
Wednesday.
mistake.
Well, this upcoming Wednesday is Christmas,
I would always run a show.
and then after that, they'll run their new one. It'll be January 1st. It'll be New Year's night is when they'll run their next one. So, and from what I understand, they're supposed to reset the records. We've been told, because there's another negative I was going to bring up, is the negatives like the women's division. They were saying, well, wait for 2020. Well, 2020 is going to be here in 2 weeks. You know, can you turn it around? Now, Coco, you've been a promoter, you've been a booker. Now, I'm going to say, I'm not going to be silly and say, okay, oh, should they hit the panic button? No, I think that's ridiculous. No, they shouldn't hit the panic button. It's way too early to hit the panic button. But Coco, as a booker, as a former promoter, should they be concerned right now?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, yeah. Because, yeah, they should definitely be concerned. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I ran it where I just panicked every fucking week. I was like, oh my God, fucking. Because the thing is, as a booker, you write a story, and if the fans react the way you want, you did your job. If you write a story and the fans don't react the way you wanted, you failed. You failed. And WWE, not WWE, but pro wrestling, I apologize to pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is a different type of storytelling. It is a different type of art form. Because you have a book, it's over. It's whatever they felt, they felt. You have a movie, oh well, maybe they'll have J.J. Abrams fucking save the day at the end of the sequel. But the reality is, it's already done. You know what I mean? That's why, a lot of writers, but wrestling is different. You got to come back out there the next week. And you have to fucking control how people feel. That's why people are like, oh, John Cena, Roman Reigns, blah, 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 blah. Basically, I'm a babyface and I'm getting booed. Well, that's poor. No, it's not. You have failed. In that script, John Cena's supposed to get cheered. In that script, Roman Reigns is supposed to get cheered. In that script, you failed as a writer. You didn't feel the audience. I think creative failed. They're not feeling it. And they're fucking, they're throwing out way too many characters way too fast. And then the guys that built the fucking company are putting everyone goddamn over. It's ridiculous. You're like, don't hit the panic button. Like, why? Dude, you just had the worst fucking commentary ever with, Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero. Like, what the fuck was that? The fuck? That was so bad. Dixie Carter's TNA was like, we never did that, right, guys? And then someone was like, you probably did, Dixie. You probably did. You have JR calling the biggest feud Jericho versus Moxley. Why would we bother watching your company? It would be like, oh man, I'm a huge Buccaneers fan. All right, fucking, I'll check out the other alternatives. Oh, you have the same quarterback and running back? Well, I might as well, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think they're fucking, and you're like, don't hit the panic button. I'm like, dude, because it gives us hope and there's a chance, but history repeats itself. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't fix it. And this is an insult to two companies at once, but it's the perfect insult. If they don't fix AEW, I wouldn't be surprised if there was TNA chance. Because, what's the fucking difference? What's the fucking difference? The elite has to be the elite. They have to fucking get that shit together. I would actually sit with creative and be like, dude, listen, we have to slow down new characters. We have to rebuild the guys that fucking built the company. And Who right now, not being a WWE guy, who's the star? Who is the star of AEW that wasn't a WWE guy? And here's the thing. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to keep pushing WWE guys, and then Kenny Omega's going to go to WWE and become a star and fucking do shitty fucking matches where he doesn't try. That's the future. If it doesn't change, here's fucking TNA, the ghost of fucking second company's past, coming to you on Christmas, saying, if you don't change your fucking ways, Omega is going to be a star in WWE giving half-ass matches. Is that what you want? Is that what you fucking want? I'm going to read some fucking live chats to show Twitch some love. Golden Star says, I agree to an extent that with Dave says about Omega. My counter to that, though, is that the Elite wins the belts and belts all the time. You run into the problem of people just assuming you're going to put yourselves over for ego. So I don't mind them losing from time to time. Not to say I think the Elite should be jobbers by any means, but I feel like getting themselves and other talent over is the hardest but the best balance. See, here's the thing. I agree with that a lot, except Kenny Omega. I'm not bitching about Cody. I think Cody's been booked perfectly. Bit weird that he's
Cody's
fucking
been booked perfectly.
and
Yeah, I like the way he's been booked. I love his promo.
Bit weird with the bunny, but whatever, dude. Fucking, we're throwing shit at the wall. That's great. We've been fucking doing 12 months. We're throwing shit at the wall already. I think the Bucks, besides this week with the attack, I think have been booked pretty well. And JR does a way better job of putting the Bucks over than he does Kenny Omega, which someone needs to pull him aside. Like, dude, Kenny Omega should be undefeated right now. He should have never fucking lost. Because he could have had, from a WWE standpoint, a view of fans, because that's who you're trying to win over. And a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't compare to WWE. Shut the fuck up. Live in the real goddamn world. You know what I mean? You're trying to win these WWE fans over or win fans back. ECW fans had RVD. WCW fans had Goldberg. WWE fans, if you're not fucking undefeated, why wouldn't they just watch their match? You know what I mean? Records matter. And here's the thing, he doesn't have to be champ. RVD wasn't champ, and he was amazing. Samoa Joe in Ring of Honor. It's just, if winning matters, why the fuck is the greatest fucking wrestler in the world that you have right now not named Okada? Fucking, what is he, 500? 8-4? The fuck? This ain't sexy, I'm handsome, be a pro Canadians. This is goddamn Kenny Omega. So, to me, it's a big mistake. Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man in my opinion, just for the record. I love all three Spider-Mans for different reasons. AEW's weakest part is definitely the women's division. They need all the help they can get there. Not all the ladies there are bad, but they need more big names. You know what, Booms, for the record, Boomy, I don't know why I called you Boomy. How long have I been putting over Stardom?
You have. You've mentioned some positive things about it. I'm
for years.
I kind of want to see Yuki Sakazaki back, to be honest.
Okay, with that said, fuck Stardom. They're mentally fucking weak, and fuck them. I've been putting their company over for fucking years. Fuck them. Get them the fuck out of AEW. We had a good run. They're fucking mentally weak. They can't fucking get over, and fucking they're sending out goddamn press releases that, oh, you can't fucking cheer and you have to act a certain way because it distracts the pro wrestlers. You're mentally fucking weak. Get the fuck out of pro wrestling. With that said, I think the problem is everyone that should be a star, you're not making a star. Like, who is... It should be... Right now, Awesome Kong should be created as a monster on top with Rose. Is that her name? I apologize. I don't know her name.
Yeah, Nyla Rose, yeah.
Nyla Rose. They should be stars. But they're battling around 500. Listen, oh, I hate WWE booking. I hate the WWE 50-50 booking. Oh, AEW, records matter. Here's your fucking champ, 4-4, going against fucking Awesome Kong, who's fucking 5-5. Wow. Good job, AEW. Yeah, I would just book Rose and Kong to be on top, and then have everyone to go after them. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. Yeah, if that's the case, WWE fails at storytelling all the time, without a doubt. Is the worst storytellers in the fucking world. So, Dave, if you took over booking right now, given everything AEW's done, how would you start to fix things? I would get rid of Vicky Guerrero. I would get rid of.
She just did a one-off on AEW Dark.
That was the worst train wreck ever, and I love Vicky. That was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I felt like I was watching an ant fucking show up to fucking, I don't know, a mayor. Like, I don't know. This is how embarrassed I was. I was picturing my aunt running for mayor, showing up drunk, completely naked, and just fucking throwing up on the fucking podium live to the world. That was the feeling I had. All right, Vicky, thanks for being here. Fire Vicky Guerrero, or just like, hey, no, you're not coming back. Sorry. Sorry. I would fucking tone down the new characters. And I would have Kenny Omega go undefeated. And I would start having strong people fucking have strong records. If records matter, I don't want to see, you know what I mean? So, that's how it is. Dude, was my phone just fucking hacked? That was fucking weird. Alright, not now. My phone just started acting fucking weird and started putting like, alright, well, that's fucking weird. Sorry to get distracted. My phone was just fucking doing Arabic. It was like just turned white and it was like all in Arabic. And I was like, okay, this is how I die. In that case, WWE fails. Yeah. So Dave, if you took over booking right now, I'd fix things. I'd make the elite be elite again. And yeah. I would definitely build it up because it's too late. Build up the Moxley Jericho match. Jericho has to win. There's no fucking way anyone should win that goddamn title off Jericho. And I think Jericho deserves to be champ. No one should take that title off that fucking Le Champion. At least it should only be Kenny. I don't care if you're like, well, Kenny Omega's not winning the title. Well, then Chris Jericho's champion forever. If Moxley wins the title, I might just give up. It's like, all right, cool. And I'm not even knocking Moxley. It's such bad booking. It's horribly bad booking. And Jericho wasn't the wrong decision. Moxley beating Jericho is definitely the wrong decision. Ultron has gone from ruling the chat to taking over Dave's phone. Exactly. Boom Boom, have you tried a little bit of the bubbly? We can't get it in Japan.
I have not. I haven't. From what I understand, it's owned by like a vineyard that Stephen Amell owns out in Washington State, and they're selling it for like. I think you have to buy it in packs of two, so you can buy like a 2-pack for like $46, so $23 a bottle. Yeah, from what I heard, it's okay. It's, for what they priced and everything, it's actually pretty fair, pretty comparable. So, but no, I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, Bear Friend loves Chris Jericho's fucking promos and a little bit of bubbly. Yeah, but he's been hitting some fucking home runs. But yeah, AEW had their Spider-Man 3 show. They have to come back strong. Mm-hmm. And they have to introduce people slowly.
I think they can. They'll be back January 1st from Jacksonville. They've already said that the records are going to reset. So, new year, fresh start. What do you think, Dick? What do you think, Coco? You think they can pull it off?
I think, I know it sounds weird. I think the fact that the records are starting over, I think, is a really good idea. Because that's when you can help build stars. I mean, I'm being a little bit of an asshole here, but seriously, you want to know who the top 5 fucking rankings are? Number 1, 3-3. Number 2, 2-2. Number 4, 1-5. Number 5, 0-6.
Funny you should mention that. I'm looking at the men's rankings right now. Right now, you've got Moxley at 5-0-1, number two,
Oh
Kenny Omega at
God,
five
dude,
and
I'm sorry.
two.
Can I didn't mean to cut you off. Can I just fuck? No, just booms. Reread the Moxley score because I want to start my TNA chant. Go.
Okay, he's 5-0-1.
TNA, 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 TNA. All right, go ahead, sir.
Number two is Kenny Omega at 5-2.
Really, I thought he had a lot more matches. Maybe that's singles.
Well, yeah, that's just a singles record. Now, his overall record, like including tag matches, trios matches, etc., he's 9-4.
This, that's my shitty fucking Montreal Canadiens in my fucking stream. Have I mentioned that I stream hockey on Twitch? Go on.
No, never. Number three would be Pac at 4-2-1. Cody is at number four with 4-1-1, and then MJF is sitting at 5-2-1.
Yeah. So, yeah, they have to fucking change that. And here's the thing, like, know it help give people a shot? Fucking do shit more like Cody Rhodes and Jericho with time limit draws. I think we need more time limit draws. I really do. I know fucking it's not a popular thing, but if you're gonna make records count, you know. So yeah. But to me, there's hope, but it's not perfect. But I don't want to see any more Spider-Man 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, Booms, what would you do? I'm always taking over what I would book. What would you book? How you solving this?
Honestly, I think a lot of it is, and this goes back to my wheelhouse is I'm a producer. So I think a lot of this goes to producing. Because one of the fucking pet peeves I have is, would it kill AEW to have one full goddamn match without fucking going to commercial break? Because, I mean, you have matches that are constantly interrupted by commercials, so they go into picture in picture, and that's okay every now and then, but virtually every match you're going into picture in picture. And then they're also doing shit picture in picture, like they're furthering angles. Like, for example, after Omega and Page lost to the Lucha Bros, they were starting to push and shove or whatever. And then Pac's like, "Hey, I challenged you. I haven't heard back from you, so I'm going to do something." And he's like, he's going to go kill Michael not kill him literally, but go hurt Michael Nakazawa. And Kenny runs back there, and then Kenny gets jumped by the Lucha Brothers again backstage, and then Page, fends them off, and they all run and they're talking, and we never follow up of what was said, what happened, what happened to Michael Nakazawa. There's Chris Jericho going to the ring, and we're still picture in picture. He's talking. What the hell is he saying? We don't recap anything. We don't recap what was happening during your break. Um, you have a lack of communication between the production and commentary, because it's like, okay, we'll go to break. We'll be back right after this, and we don't go to break. Okay, okay, I guess we're still here. Okay, now we're going to go to break right now, and then we go to break. I think there's too much of an emphasis on dark characters, because right now you have the Dark Order, you have the Nightmare Collective, you've got Darby Allin, you've got Jimmy Havoc, and these are all just, not saying these all people are aligned or should be aligned. I'm just saying that's their gimmick, is they're dark, they're brooding. You got way too much of that. So I would improve the flow of the show. Like this past week, they broke a cardinal rule. They ran two tag team matches back to back.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You know, let's see. Okay. If I'm doing a show, if it's me, if I go Booms, okay, we're gonna let you produce this motherfucker. First, I'm gonna find out where my commercial breaks are, how long they have to run, because this is what I do when I produce a regular show. I need to find out how many commercial breaks I have and how long they run, and I plan my show around those, because all I need is an absolute in time and an absolute out time, and then I just go from there, and I'll have to cut and slash and hack things as I go. But I think you should start out with something, with a good solid match. You should start out with basically you got to punch the audience in the mouth to get them to pay attention. So you have a match. And then if I know, like if I've run a long match, maybe I'm going to do a short segment. Maybe I'll do like a short interview or something, or some kind of, vignette or something to kind of just to kill a little bit of time. I would do, just really just improve the flow of the show so that way you're not constantly doing matches going picture in picture where you can't really hear it, you can't hear anything and you don't recap it. If I do that, I'm going to recap it. Also, I'm going to try to I want to sit down with everybody. I want to sit down with everybody, have them go in character, and basically I'll ask them the same questions. Who are you? Why are you here? Why should we care? Why should we pay attention to you? And just have them answer that question, and as needed, you bring out those interviews. I mean, they kind of did that with Jungle Boy this past week. It's like, who are you? Why are you here? What are you hoping to accomplish? Boom, he answered all those questions in his match against Chris Jericho, and they were trying to get that kid over. I would go back to, first of all, I'd also put another ban on tag teams. I think you've got enough tag teams right now. Instead of like trying to have Shawn Spears find a tag team partner to go do something, no, he needs to be a single star. You've got enough tag teams right now. You need to start establishing out your division. In fact, things I would do is like with all the divisions, especially like the women's. I kind of like what they're doing right now with women's. Is they feature somebody and then they do something that builds, for like the number one contendership, something to do with the championship. Either the champ's going to be defending it, or there's going to be a match to determine, who's going to challenge the champion, or we're introducing somebody else with a female roster. We got to get these people over. We got to give people a reason to care. Same thing with the tag division. Either you're going to be defending the tag team titles, we're going to be introducing a tag team, what makes them tick, or we're going to be doing something that works towards winning the tag team titles. And again, same thing with the heavyweight title. And once I get all this established, then maybe I'll worry about introducing a secondary title. Maybe I'll worry about introducing like a cruiserweight title or the equivalent of like a intercontinental title. I'll do that later, but you're going to have to put the emphasis on the divisions, on the performers, and getting them over, getting me a reason to care about them. Also, I hate to say, because this is one of my just downright ugly things, is JR, God bless him. I love him for what he's done, but I think he's got to go as commentary.
Yeah, I've said that from day one. It was a big mistake.
Another thing is you're going to have to get your shit together. I'm so sick and tired of these ref botches. There was supposed to be stuff where people have missed their fucking cue. Like, done. You know what? Count fucking 3, because if you don't, you look fucking stupid. I mean, Chris Jericho had to get the tag division together and be like, guys, look, make fucking tags, because if you don't, it's killing everything. You make the referees look stupid because they're not enforcing the rules, so they look inept. Audience is confused because they don't know who the legal man is. Commentary's confused because they don't know who the legal man is, and they're trying to cover. They're trying to put you over. So you've got to make tags. Brandy Rhodes. God bless her. She's trying, but it's just not working. I mean, I appreciate the fact that she wants to be more than just Cody's wife. I appreciate that she's trying. I appreciate, she's trying to be her own person. But just to me, this whole Nightmare Collective thing, it's not working for me. It's hard to put my finger on exactly what it is, but it's just I'm not really digging it. But those are some changes. And plus, you know what? I would probably show more people, that. I think I would show more of Cody. I'd show more of MJF because, MJF is pretty golden on the microphone. People like Darby Allin, I'd show more of him. People like the Jurassic Express, I'd show more of them. People like Orange Cassidy, I'd show more of them. And I would try to, put out the absolute best matches that I could with those guys.
I do agree with the commercial break thing. This week, the Spider-Man 3 episode was the worst. There was a commercial break with Picture in Picture where Jericho cut a promo. We came back, nothing. And then there was like people backstage. Like, they literally just went on with the TV show. And I'm okay with, I think Picture in Picture is awesome if it's done right. I think Picture in Picture is great for fucking matches. It is not great for promos. Because picture, like, here, if you got Picture in Picture, right? And you're watching a match, and it's not the finish. You're like, oh, that's cool. I get to keep watching the match while listening to commercials. But as soon as someone grabs the mic, you're like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Well, and it wouldn't be that bad if they would come back. It's like, okay, if you just, you You saw it just a moment ago in the crowd, but here's what he said, and then boom, replay what, Jericho grabbed the mic and said. You know, recap it. You can probably get away with it, but I agree with you. If it's not a match, if it's not a match going on, you just need to go all the way to commercial break. I know why they do it, because they're trying to keep people from changing the channel to NXT. And if that's the case, then TNT needs to do an overrun, because NXT does an overrun, and AEW practically hands them, 250,000 viewers when they do that, because NXT goes about roughly 10 minutes longer than All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
And, and I compete against that. I competed against another morning show that had a 30-minute, I ran for an hour, they ran for an hour and a half. And even though it's not fair, they still count all that, and it can affect the overall, even though I've gone off the air and I may have been beating them all the way, through that hour, that extra 30 minutes they got, sometimes they turn around and beat me, and other times I'd hang on, but other times, yeah, they could beat me using that 30-minute overrun. Same thing with NXT. They may be trailing behind. AEW may be winning, but when you hand them, 250,000 viewers, at the end of your show, that's going to skew and affect the overall ratings.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so they have stuff. I mean, and the thing is, we were a bit negative towards the end, but we're still happy for them, but we're worried. Just because we've seen companies crumble and they're making the same mistakes.
And I know the arguments come as, oh, you're a bunch of WWE fanboys. Believe me, we've been called it before. I do want to stress that we don't
actually watch the product anymore at WWE. It's still not enough. It's still not enough.
And we think they can do better.
Yeah. I think it's the best American television product out there. But, man, we had a first AEW. And I know that, but it's the end of the year. So I hope they get it together. I hope the new records and all that. Golden Star says, my problem with the Nightmare Collective is that I don't see what our goal is. That's a lot of problems with the heels. Why cut hair? Why is the plan for the lady? She wants to join her. Yeah, see, I think this should just be the Dark Order. And that's it. You're either in the Dark Order or you're not. You're in the Dark Order or you're normal.
And I will give them props for doing what they've done with the Dark Order, because when they came out originally, it's like, I don't understand it. I don't get this. This is confusing to me. Then they started releasing the vignettes. Then they started doing, this. And to their credit, AEW's really trying to get the Dark Order over. I mean, they really are. They're putting effort into them, and I do appreciate that. But, if you're going to do, you need to do that for a lot more things, and plus not have so many damn dark characters.
Yeah. And on top of that, it hurts me to say this.
Mm-hmm.
They need talented wrestlers in the Dark Order. And I love the two guys. I love Player Uno. You know what I mean? I love them. But
yeah, but and I can understand people want to, we understand more about the creepers now. We understand more, but you're going to take what Jonathan Silver and what was the other guy? I can't remember the other guy's name right now off the top of my head. It's like, okay, you're going to have them join the Dark Order, and all they've done is wrestled a couple squash matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not invested in that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Hopefully they fix it. But, see, the problems go away. You go 0-0. You have fucking the best wrestlers go fucking undefeated. And then you have the other wrestlers fucking feud with the dark fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And you just need one fucking group. Like, literally, because I think there's the Dark Order. There's fucking, not Cody Rhodes. Brandy Rhodes. Sorry, I couldn't think of her name. Brandy Rhodes. There's the Dark Order. There's the fucking bunnies. They're separate, right?
Yeah, technically, I think. The Butcher and the by bunny. The way, that's another thing. After, oh god, when they debuted the Blade, the Butcher, and the Bunny, that was a huge clusterfuck, because Excalibur's like, it's the Blade, and JR's like, it's who? It's the Blade. It's like, we still don't know who the fuck this guy is. And then we found out that the reason why they attacked was because they were hired by MJF, but we never found that out because that was on on AEW Dark or a YouTube video or something. That should have been on the main show. That should have been there. That should have been, yeah, I paid these guys to come after you. That should have been done.
None of it. just listen. I know they're trying to do the right thing, but stop trying to do the right thing and do the fucking right thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's just like,
I
yeah,
like that. Stop trying to do the right thing and just do the right thing.
exactly. Because they're like, we're gonna fucking put these guys over. Like, no, they don't deserve to be put over. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To me,
So, you know what? Let me ask you this. Okay, so let's just say, records reset. This is going to be New Year's night. They're starting the first show at 2020. Let's just say there's a big locker room meeting. Chris Jericho's leading this again. What would you want Chris Jericho to say?
we have a golden opportunity here tonight, boys. And if we do what we did and we don't improve, it will be over. That's it. If you keep doing the Dark Order where fucking it goes nowhere, if you have 976 vampire kids like it's a fucking 90s high school and a 90s fucking high school in America, there's no fucking point. You know what I mean? Just fucking let's wrap it up. Yeah. I just be like, dude, you have to be different. You have to be. And Moxley winning the title next, there's a moment in TNA history that it peaked and it died.
Mm-hmm.
It peaked when Samoa Joe headbutt Kurt Angle. And then why did it peak? Because the fan base said, there's our best versus their best. When did it go under? It was when the Hardys beat fucking EC3. Because their worst, their drunkest, fucking just beat us with no storyline. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to use WWE guys, use them properly. There's no fucking way. I don't know. There's a part of me like, and you know me, I'm a little dramatic. I'm a little over the top.
Just a little.
I would say if Moxley beats Jericho, it's up there with the EC3 TNA mistake. It will be the worst fucking decision possible.
Yeah, because I think they could fall into the TNA trap, and that is when TNA started, they were trying to build up momentum. They just took ex-WWE guys. They would push them, put the belt on them, and pretty much all their homegrown talent was just kind of left to rot. So,
Yep.
and I'm thinking they could do the same thing in AEW. Well, they keep putting on ex-WWE guys. You're still sending the message that, okay, WWE's the real, those guys there are the real stars. That's why they're coming over to your company and you're putting the belt on them because they've still got the WWE rub. And people are going to basically say, well, why do I want to watch a promotion that puts the belt on the WWE guys when I can actually just watch WWE?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't understand. Like, here's the thing. The whole thing is, they're just going to, they have a chance to be amazing or TNA. That's what they have. That is the window.
And they got the tools to be amazing. I will say that.
They seemingly avoided the Jeff Jarrett TNA trap of Cody winning the belts like Jarrett did. A little bit, but I guess, yeah. If Cody Rhodes has been booked pretty well, the Young Bucks minus the Spider-Man 3 episode has been booked pretty well. My problem is Cody, and my problem is the title. And here's the thing: anyone that's listened to this podcast knows I'm very romantic about the heavyweight title, the top tier champion.
Mm-hmm.
The top tier champion should be fucking special. And Moxley deserves to win the title eventually. He does not. It will ruin the company if he takes it off Jericho. You'd be like, well, Cody's not going to win it. That's great. But either should Moxley. And that's the thing. I think we need more enhancement talent. We need when you go look at the top 5, we need the top 2 to be undefeated. and number 5 to have 2 losses. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to see. But it's not what we're seeing. You know, we need to get rid of 50-50 booking. And if that means like giving fucking people a shot. You know, hey, fucking bring in this indie guy. Hey, bring in this indie guy. Bring in this in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because you're making it like boxing and. Because boom, boom. You don't know much about boxing. But if I said, hey, there's a huge fucking heavyweight title fight coming up. Hey, this is a big fucking match. You know, you're gonna be like, what's the record? And I'm like 2-2 and 2-3. You're not even bothering fucking watching that on free for ESPN. You're literally like, okay, Dave lost his fucking mind. You know what I mean? Got it. So the championship is gonna be 2-2 versus 2-3, or even let's take Kenny Omega's record. You're 9-4. You know,
Mm-hmm.
boom, boom. You don't know. I don't know if you've been following boxing, but let's just live in a world where you don't know about boxing, and you know you're a Mike Tyson kid. You know,
Okay.
I said, boom, boom. You gotta watch this fucking fight. It's 6-5 versus 9-4. You gotta see it. You just be like, dude, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, you fucking lost me. It's just, yeah, we have to figure out something. And I'm saying if you're battling for 500, there should be guys that battle for 500. They should not be in your top 5. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, it's like any zero-sum game. I mean, it's like, look at the NFL right now. Yeah, for every, perfect team, there's got to be one team that's lost every damn game.
Yeah. So we'll have to figure it out. I don't know. They have, well, not us. Fucking, we're just fat asses that fucking complain on the internet. They got to figure it out. But
Yeah.
overall, I still think it's a fucking dream come true. It's just I don't want to see this dream turn into a nightmare.
Exactly. And I don't want to be all negative here, but I'll say this: on the 12 weeks that we've had All Elite Wrestling in 2019, starting from their first show on October 2nd and wrapping up this past Wednesday, out of all 12 of them, I would say 10 of them have been pretty good.
I think they've all been pretty good. They've been great to good, with this one being the Spider-Man 3 episode. Like,
Yeah.
I just think this last episode was fucking like, what?
The only other one I really didn't like was the one before Thanksgiving. I didn't like that one, but I think they recovered nicely. And then, like you said, this one was like the Spider-Man 3. This was the Phantom Menace episode.
Yeah, not to say these criticisms aren't valid. They are, but I feel like a lot of these problems are scenarios that haven't happened yet. Yes and no, but it's one of those. You've only been around for 12 fucking weeks. You haven't earned the fucking trust of, don't worry, this will work out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't. And you have too much going on. Like example, in Star Wars, let's say there's an opening scene where there's just so much shit going on. You're going to give that movie more of a chance because of its reputation than if you went to go see fucking Starjoy. Like, you're watching Starjoy, like, man, yeah, fucking Starjoy. I heard it's supposed to be like Star Wars. And there's like 90 fucking characters on screen, and you're like, don't worry, you're going to get to it later. Like, dude, I got shit to do. All right, I'm not in the mood for your shit, Starjoy. So, I agree. But at the same time, you have to realize people are watching this. Example, Booms. What's the Netflix show that Futurama does?
Oh, Enchanted?
Enchanted's really good. The problem with Enchanted is it doesn't grab your attention till the season finale. So it's a slow burn. And that helps people on Netflix that fucking trudge through it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, I love Futurama, and here comes fucking Enchanted. You know how many people just watched it and be like, oh man, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Fuck this, I'm out. You know what I mean? You have to remember you're putting on entertainment. It's not our job to fucking like it. And maybe they'll fix the problems. Maybe it'll be great. But it doesn't change the fact that it's bad now. Or there's problems now. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Jay White thing. I don't know. Do we ever bring up Jay White on this show? Jay White might be the greatest fucking IWGP champ ever. That doesn't change the fact for his first title run. AEW might have all these storylines make sense, and it's like, yeah, dude, fucking Count Dracula has owned AEW the whole time and wanted the soul of Kenny Omega, and fucking that's why everyone dresses in black and is mopey. Like, hey, maybe that fucking pans out. But do we have the patience to wait? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do WWE fans have the patience? Do wrestling fans have the patience? And on that, but we've been burnt by TNA. We've been burnt by WWE. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I do think it's criticisms that they can fix, but if you don't bring it up, it's only going to get worse. New Japan Wrestling, long-term booking. Exactly. Exactly. Anything goes fine with long-term booking. Lucha Underground, we didn't renew a season. Long-term booking. You didn't see it coming. All right, Booms. AEW, and during this holiday break, we have to do a New Japan Wrestle Kingdom breakdown of both nights. So tell me when you're free to do that, and what else do you want to talk about AEW?
I think that wraps up. I think we've covered, the good aspects of it. There's a lot to talk about. The stuff that needs to be improving, we've talked about that. We've talked about the stuff that's just bad that needs to go. We've talked about possible solutions to correct that, and there's hope for the future. I really do. I am really pulling for All Elite Wrestling. I want to see them succeed. The fact that, they've had some, really, this was kind of like, when you think about it, maybe like the worst episode. Well,
yeah, it's definitely the worst episode.
Probably the worst episode here. And even then, even with it being, even though it wasn't great, it still, it wasn't that bad. I've seen worse wrestling, believe me. I've had wrestling shows put me to fucking sleep before. So it wasn't that bad, but we're judging All Elite because it's All Elite, because, we've been pulling for these guys. We've been pulling for All Elite Wrestling. We've been pulling for Cody. We've been pulling for the Bucks. We've been pulling for Omega. We're hoping to get Marty Scurll there. We liked a lot of the independent wrestling. We like the Best Friends. We like Jurassic Express. We like seeing people like Sean Spears getting a second chance. Seeing new people like, Kip Sabian, Joey Janela. We like seeing people like that. So we're pulling for them. So this is not just us trying to crap on them. It's just, it's like, come on, guys, you're better than this.
Let's put it this way. It was the worst AEW episode to end the year, mm-hmm. And I would rather watch that 6 days straight in a row than one segment of Raw. So hopefully it improves enough to fucking win people over and stay in business, because we need hope now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Golden Star says Ibushi's going to beat Okada's ass, hopefully. You know what? I don't really mind if Okada loses. I don't know if he's going to lose. I don't think he's as an underdog as people make him out to be, especially now with the Olympic torch run. And we'll talk New Japan in a future episode. But,
mm-hmm.
No, it's bothering me. Like SOS, Wrestle Talk, and a couple other guys are like saying Okada's a bad wrestler. And I'm like, no, yeah, maybe it's time. Maybe Naito has missed his time and all that. Maybe Ibushi deserves it. There's another guy, I don't know who the fuck it is. But those two guys definitely deserve the title. But because they deserve to have the title doesn't make Okada bad. You know what I mean? Like, Ibushi definitely deserves to be champion. Naito, I think his time has passed, but it's kind of like, we owe it to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's another guy. I don't know who the fuck the other guy is. And then there's Okada. Like, those three guys, they all have a shot. But it's kind of like, you shouldn't be like, oh, they don't fucking... Yeah, I don't know. I just found it weird that, like, I was on Twitter because of, New Japan. Not spoilers, but it ends with Okada, looking strong. And people were like, oh, man, he didn't fucking... Look how many fucking title matches do he have. Look how... I'm like, yeah, but he's been fucking dominated. Like, he's been skilled. No, I saw today people were upset about Okada, and they're like showing how many fucking IWGP title matches he had, but they've been good. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I just think tonight's live reaction to Okada. But the thing is, like, and I don't want to get too spoiler, so I apologize if you haven't watched it. But Okada looking strong going into a big event, that's not in Okada's favor in history. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My only criticism with Okada is that all his matches are like 30 to 40 minutes when some of them don't have to be. He's great. But I think that's just because he's a main eventer. But sometimes great 25-minute match is better than a pretty good 40-minute match. Yeah. I I I think that's more New Japan booking because I would love to see like him just one time go out there and fucking hit a rainmaker and pin and win to like we did simulation fucking match. It was Suzuki versus Vader and we were so ready for a fucking great match. And Suzuki like broke his fucking leg in like 27 seconds. We lost shit. I think that's what New Japan is forgetting. You know, like just every now and then have him fucking dominate. You know, and I know WWE and Brock Lesnar get in trouble for it, but I think that is a good move. You know, I do. But yeah, I think the matches should be different length and stuff. But I do feel like there's pressure of like you're the champ, you have to go 40 minutes. You know. So you're saying Ibushi should beat Okada in 27 seconds? Nah, I hope not. But no. I'm saying like for smaller events. But I don't know. I booked the champion at every show. I didn't believe in non-title matches. I did believe in squash matches. But I believe your champion should defend a title at every fucking show. I believe there should be no non-title matches. You know what I mean? I'm just there's certain things I believe that I don't change. So that's about it. Booms, you want to plug a bunch of stuff and then wrap this bad boy up?
If you're already here on Twitch, just follow Coco Sports. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Dave's book, Operation Freak Show, is available on Amazon.com. I don't know if we're going to see you guys before Christmas, and if we don't, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Actually, tomorrow on Sunday starts the first night of Hanukkah, so Happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends. It's just it's been a hell of a year, and we wish you a lot of prosperity in the upcoming new year.
Yeah. And Booms, happy holidays. Love you, brother. With that said, you want to talk on air when we're doing New Japan, or you just want to message later?
I'll message you later.
All right. Please check it out. Tomorrow we'll be streaming some NHL. Me and Bearfriend will probably be playing baseball, maybe a little bit of Madden. Please follow me.
Your kids are calling it these days.
Yeah. Please follow me on Twitter at Coco Sports because usually when I go live doing something, that's like where I hit first. All right. Golden Star, much love. You're the VIP, brother. All right. With that, I am over. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Hey.